Hi guys, welcome to Spiritual Cookie where we channel truth and clarity. So आज का एक बहुत ही sacred दिन है and I wanted to talk about Imam Hussain and the psychology of rebellion and the quantum energy of grief and the lessons we can learn from Muharram. Muharram isn't just about sadness, it's about sacred rebellion. Imam Hussain didn't choose martyrdom to become a hero. He chose truth, knowing it would cost him everything. And in that choice, we find a mirror. हमें एक शीशा मिलता है. Karbala didn't just break hearts. Karbala shattered illusions. Ask yourself, what are you grieving? And what is that grief trying to awaken in you? मैं जब छोटी होती थी ना तो मैं अक्सर पूछा करती थी कि जब शिया मातम करते हैं तो वो इस तरह क्यों करते हैं या वाई डू दे हर्ट देमसेल्व्स एक बड़ा इनोसेंट क्वेश्चन करती थी तो मुझे कहा कि ये रिचुअल है दिस इज़ हाउ दे ग्रीव एंड जंग हुई थी विच आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट और उसकी वजह से यजीद वन एंड इमाम हुसैन डाइड एंड उसका आज तक एक गम है and they still feel the pain and they cry and they try to feel the pain by in doing the pain if I hope it makes sense but हम लोग जो हैं अगर हम देखें तो हम सब कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ किसी ना किसी चीज़ का मातम मना रहे होते हैं और जब मैंने रियलाइज़ किया कि जब आप किसी चीज़ का अफसोस कर रहे होते हो ना आपको दर्द होता है तो आप जो होते हो आप इतना पेन आ जाती है मतलब कि आपका थ्रेशोल्ड रीच हो जाता है पेन का तो आप इस तरह शुरू हो जाते हो इट इज़ लाइक हाई कि दिस इज़ टू मच आई कांट फिजिकली एक्सप्रेस इट आई जस्ट कांट तो या अल्लाह जस्ट help me ease this burden, right? So what are you grieving and what is it trying to awaken in you? I would really like to do a tarot in it, which I didn't plan, but now I want to. Daughter of Swords. It says that you are trying to, just like, look at this girl. This is the sword, this is the action, it is, and this is the veil. She's trying to fight for what's beyond the veil, the illusions. She's trying to see for the reality, truth, right? So, what are it's about breaking out of the box what you've been told. It's about breaking through these illusions and seeing the truth for truth no matter how ugly it looks. And yeah, it's about being emotional, it's about giving yourself a new start, not delving into the whirlpool of emotions, letting these flowers of hope of lessons that you learn from this grief to which are called basically boundaries. But yeah, you have to go through this. You have to empty your cup. You have to stop worrying so much. What will happen? How will it happen? Getting attached to the outcome. It's about winning. Look at her. She's winning the battle. It's victory. It's public recognition. It's about, so victory तो यजीद की भी हो गई थी पर क्या वो जीत गया? वो एक हॉलो विक्ट्री थी जिसका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं हुआ, वो जीत के भी हार गया. तो फिर बैटल जो होती है हम कहते हैं नोबडी विंस इन अ वॉर एंड टेक्निकली दैट्स ट्रू क्योंकि जो जीत जाता है उसके भी इतने लॉसेस होते हैं और जो हार जाता है उसके तो होते ही हैं. बट ये जीत हार बैटल लाइक व्हाट इज़ इट अबाउट? लेट्स सी व्हाट मुहर्रम इज़ रियली अबाउट. Muharram basically marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar, but ironically, it begins in grief. ये basically हमारा Islamic New Year है. So happy New Year, guys. But ironically, it's attached to grief. So which means that it starts with some grief, and we all know that some real beginnings they often start with grief. Karbala isn't just a tragedy of history, it's a symbol of spiritual rebellion. A moment where one man stood against an entire empire and said, I will not bow to anything false, even if it cost me my life, my children, my peace. Hussein's sacrifice wasn't political, it was cosmic. A rupture in time, a cry that still lives in our blood. ये गम सिर्फ मातम नहीं है, ये गम एक शीशा है, ये आपको अपने आप को देखने का है कि हमेशा से हिस्टोरिकली यही हुआ है कि जिस बंदे ने इट्स लाइक अ वन मैन शो बिकॉज it's easy to lie, right? It's easy to be dishonest, it's easy to manipulate, it's easy to deflect the blame. But जब जो बंदा हक पे होता है, जो सच पे होता है, उसको हमेशा मुश्किलात का सामना करना पड़ता है. So let's try to dig deep into what is the psychology of rebellion. It's not the violent kind, but the soul kind rebellion that we are going to talk about. It is about the moment when your conscience says that, no, I will not betray myself anymore. In psychology, this is called cognitive dissonance. When your soul knows the truth, but you keep on choosing what's safe, socially acceptable, and familiar. Imam Hussein's rebellion wasn't ego, it was moral clarity. He teaches us when the world goes mad with power, silence is also betrayal. In trauma work, grief is a portal. It's like a gateway. The first step to healing is, witnessing the wound, and Karbala is that wound. And if we let's go deeper and we go quantum, energy according to physics, it cannot be destroyed, only transformed. And grief is an emotional energy. That's why the grief of Karbala still lingers because it's not just a story, it's a frequency. When you cry for Hussein, you are not just mourning a past event, you're tuning into a vibration that still shakes the soul of this world, which basically means that रोने वाले कमज़ोर नहीं होते, वो जिंदा होते हैं. Your grief is sacred, but only if you let it flow instead of freeze. Because frozen grief, basically, it becomes depression. Suppressed grief, it becomes rage. But expressed grief, it becomes light. In Sufi thought, grief is divine intimacy. It breaks the ego, it breaks the illusions, it brings you back to your truth. Rumi said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. And the Quran reminds us, do not think those slain in the way of God are dead. They are alive, receiving sustenance from their Lord. Imam Hussein's body, may have fallen, but his truth, his vibration, immortal. उस वक्त भी सजदा नहीं किया जब सर तन से जुदा हो गया. Wow. That's not just faith, that's frequency alignment with the divine. Now, let's bring it home. Where is your Karbala today? A toxic job? A suffocating silence in your home? A version of you that keeps betraying itself to please others? Maybe your relationship? Are you choosing silence over soul? Are you choosing comfort over courage? Because Karbala happens every day inside you. You cry for Hussein, but are you willing to become him in your life? To stand up, to speak truth, to walk alone, even when it costs you everything. This Moharram, don't just wear black. Don't just recite Nohas. Feel the grief, but don't stop there. Grieve, rebel, realign. Let Karbala inspire you, your own rebellion, not against people, but against the parts of you that still choose fear over truth. Imam Hussain didn't die, he became a vibration. And every time you choose truth, you become part of that vibration. We don't always get answers, but we do get signs. And Karbala is the loudest one. May you find the courage to not just remember Hussein, but to embody him. Thank you so much. And I would like to give you a prompt to think about what are you grieving and what is it trying to teach you. Think about it. Bye.